to a special edition of Maker Monday at the Independence Public Library. My name is Caitlin and I'm glad you joined me today. Today we are getting ready for Halloween. If you stop by the library, you know that we have our Boo Bash in a bag ready for you. We're sad we can't celebrate together this year, but hopefully you are able to enjoy some of the games and candy and decorate your pumpkin. Today we will be making 3 different projects. The first 2 use candy to make Halloween friends. You'll need these supplies: a chocolate bar, a sucker, 2 tissues, scissors, tape or glue, a piece of ribbon or string, and a marker. So I will pause here for you to collect your supplies, and then we will craft. Okay, now that you have your supplies, let's get started. We'll make the craft with the sucker first. So this one is very easy. We're going to make a ghost. So what you're going to do is take one of your tissues and wrap it right over the top of your sucker. You want to kind of pull it down around the base of the sucker. So you've got the stick here at the bottom and all the tissue around it. And then you'll want to tie it with your string or with your ribbon, just like you're tying your shoes. You could do a knot, you could do a bow. So now here he is. You could cut those strings if you want, or if you want them nice and long, that would work too. And then lastly, we're going to draw a little face on our ghost. So your bag should have had a marker inside. Yours might be a different color. You could use any color you'd like. And you're going to want to draw a face. So I'm going to draw some eyeballs. And then a mouth with an O kind of shape. And there's your little ghost. Do you see it? Ghosts can be white and they can fly around. Some ghosts are spooky and some ghosts are friendly, like Casper. So that's your first craft. Really easy. You could make this with a sucker, or if you had a stick, you could put something on the top. But that's the first one, just a little ghost friend made out of a sucker. The second craft is with your chocolate bar. You've got a little tiny chocolate bar in there. We're going to make this into a mummy. So what you're going to want to do is to take your tissue, or toilet paper would work if you had that. You want to cut some long, skinny strips out of your tissue. They don't have to be perfect. If you've seen a mummy before, maybe in a Scooby-Doo movie or in a book, you know that they're wrapped up in pieces of cloth. And in our example, the tissue is pieces of cloth. I'm going to start with 2. We'll see how that works. So if you have glue, you could use glue. If you had tape, you could use tape. I'm going to put a little tiny dot here on the back and put the tissue right on that. And then we're going to wrap the tissue around the chocolate bar. When you reach the end, you can add some more glue or tape and then add your second piece. We'll wrap that guy up. And I'm going to leave a little space here for the eyeballs. And then I want to glue it again on the back side. You could add as much tissue or as little tissue as you wanted. Every one will look different. Then in your kit, you should have had some little eyeballs. Now mine have a sticky back on them. So we'll take the sticky piece off and stick that right on there. the second eye. You could make him a one-eyed mummy if you like. And there's your little mummy. Do you see it? I think it looks pretty cute. So now you've got a chocolate bar that's made into a mummy, and you've got a sucker that's made into a ghost. It's just 2 easy crafts that you can make with candy for Halloween. Now, of course, you can't eat the candy now that you're done. I won't tell. So I'm going to clean up our craft area here. We'll get ready for our next craft. For our final project today, you will need these supplies. A frame made out of 4 popsicle sticks, a pom-pom, or 2 of them that have been glued together, 2 pipe cleaners, yours could be any color, a set of googly eyes, a long piece of string or yarn, markers or paint, glue or tape, scissors, and lastly, you'll need a picture of yourself. So I will pause here for you to collect these supplies. Okay, let's get started. So your first step is to decorate your frame. This is going to be the base of the craft we're making. I'm going to use the marker that was included in my kit with my Boo Bash bag to color my frame. I'm going to color it all red, but you could choose to put a design, you could paint your frame, you could do whatever you'd like. So go ahead and decorate your frame, and then we'll come back together. Okay, now that your frame is decorated, I colored mine all red. That was the color of marker that was in my bag. Next, we're going to make a little spider. So this pom-pom is going to become the body of my spider. You might have 1 big pom-pom, or you might have 2. You can see mine are glued together here. What I'm going to do is to take my pipe cleaners and cut them in half. So you might need some help with this. They can be a little difficult to cut, but you'll cut those right in half. And now, how many do you have? You should have 4. So we're going to wrap each one of these around our spider body to make legs. How many legs does a spider have? Most spiders, I think all spiders, have 8 legs. So we want to make 8 legs for our spider. Now everybody's spider is going to look different because everybody has a number of different pom-poms, different colors of legs, and that's the best part about this. So what I'm doing is I'm just wrapping this around the spider's body and then pulling it tight so that the legs lay kind of flat. And the last one. So they're kind of squished around the middle, but that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So now, if you count, this spider has some long legs and some short legs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs. And then we want to put some eyes on our spider. That's optional, but your craft kit also came with another set of eyes. So we'll take the sticky back off and we'll add the eyes onto our spider. Sometimes the sticker likes to really stick on there, so be patient. Now these eyeballs are kind of large. Have you ever looked at a spider and seen how many eyes they have? We have some books at the library about spiders. I don't really like spiders too much, so I didn't pull any of those, but you can come in and check those out and learn all about them. Okay, so here's our spider friend. I think he's pretty cute. You could give him a name if you'd like. And next we're going to make his web. So in your craft kit, you should have gotten a long piece of white string. Hopefully it's not too tangled, because what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around our frame. So we're gonna kind of wrap it around as many times as we want. This will get easier the longer you wrap it. So just be patient, and we're gonna just wrap it in a number of loops around the frame to make our spider web. Now we don't want to add too much in the middle of the frame because that's where our picture is going to go. But we'll see what we can do here. All right, we're gonna keep wrapping, keep wrapping. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can use all the string that came in your kit. You could use just some of the string. If you hear noises, that's because the garbage truck just came to pick up the trash at the library. So I apologize if that's interrupting. So you can see here I got a little bit of a knot. That's okay, not a big deal. I'm actually going to leave that in there. I think it'll look pretty neat. So now we've reached all the way around. Can you see how my frame looks? So I'm going to keep wrapping, only this time I'm going to make some bigger loops with my yarn. And keep wrapping around, and keep going. And I think I've just about used enough of my string. So I think that I'm going to tie it off here in just a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece. And kind of tuck it underneath here in the back. You could glue it or tape it if you'd like, but I think that'll be just fine if I just tuck it underneath. So now my frame is all wrapped in yarn and it looks kind of like a spider web. So before we do the last step of adding the spider onto our frame, I think we should put our picture on the back first. So you should have a picture of yourself. And I have a picture of a friend who came to Boo Bash last year, dressed up like Spider-Man, that's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my picture so that it fits in the frame. So you might have to cut your picture down a little bit. We'll start with this and see how we do. So what we want is we want our person or our picture to fit inside the frame. So you can see mine's still a little big, so I'm going to cut down the sides just a little bit. And then lastly, what you can do is you could glue your picture or you could tape it. If you use tape, then you could change it. If you use glue, you'll probably leave it like that forever. I'm going to use glue, and I'm just going to put a small line. You don't want so much glue that it's squeezing everywhere, and liquid glue will probably work better than a glue stick. And then we're going to glue that on the back side so that when we turn it back over, we can see the picture from the front. And I got a little bit of glue on my fingers, that's okay. Do you see the picture now in the frame? So there's Spider-Man in a spider frame. And lastly, we're going to add our spider to its home on the frame. So you could just set it on there, but if you wanted to put this on your fridge or maybe on a shelf somewhere, you're probably going to want to glue or tape your spider down. So we'll put the spider on there. Now the glue will have to set, so you won't want to move it around too much, but here's your craft. You've got a spider picture frame that you can put your own picture in. We have a photo booth at the library that you could come take a picture in and put that inside your frame. So I did find some books at the library that celebrate Halloween, and I wanted to share those with you. It's not too late to come check them out. And we have a great big display right at the front of the library that you could look at. If you like mysteries and you like chapter books, this book called The Mystery of the Singing Ghost is a great one. It's about ghosts A Mystery of a Ghost by the Boxcar Children. This book is called Haunted Party. Look at this guy. He's a ghost. He kind of looks like the ghost that we made with our suckers. You could read this book with your family. This book is about my favorite elephant family, a man named Babar and his family with a ghost. That's a fun book. If you want to learn more about spiders, this is called Walter's Wonderful Web. It's a great book that you could check out. It's not necessarily about Halloween, but you can see the spider here and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs. And lastly, Skippy John Jones in Mummy Trouble. This is a really popular book. Have you ever read anything about him? He talks about mummies. Do you remember what mummies are? We made one out of a chocolate bar. Remember this guy? Same idea in this book. So I want to thank you for joining me today for making our crafts. We made the spider picture frame, the mummy chocolate, and the ghost sucker. We will see you back in 2 weeks for another Maker Monday.